Hi everyone, I'm Martin Anev, and in this video I'm going to show you what I presented as a guest speaker at University of Bocconi in their course about software development, about programming. So they invited me as a guest speaker to share my perspective, talking about my life, and just had a little bit of chat, some interesting comments and questions after that, and then show them how to blow up stuff with Python. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and here we go.
So we have approached programming and Python, and all our friends in this live session are now developing a project with Turtle and Python. I introduce you as the professional that do coding for a living, and I would love you to tell something more about the experience of being a professional that do coding for a living, and to all of us, and also bringing some focus on what it means to interact with other types of professionals that maybe most of those that are listening today will become. So I do not expect that our friends today will one day become programmers, but it might be confident that one day they will find themselves in a situation where they will have to interact with a programmer. So if you can tell us what all this means, it would be great. So I'm gonna stay quiet for a while, if you don't mind, Martin, and I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us something. Thank you.
Sure, thank you for the introduction, Massimo. Hi everyone, I was born in Bulgaria. Currently I'm in Slovakia. That's the home country of my wife, and actually I'm using the room of my brother-in-law. I'm a software developer. I'm a remote software developer before it was cool. I've been working remotely for 3-4 years now. I've been traveling all over the world basically doing this. It's been quite a journey. I've started programming when I was 15 in high school. Then I studied my bachelor degree in the university in Bulgaria. Went for Erasmus, that's exchange program in Italy. And I was on the island of Sardinia. It's a wonderful place. And then I signed up for my master's in software development, engineering of computing systems, basically, in Milano. So I was living in Italy for quite some time. That's where my professional career as a software developer started as well. And I'm not only going to be speaking about myself, I'm going to show you also some projects, some cool stuff. I'm going to talk about fireworks, how to make things explode with Python and things like that. So bear with me for the short introduction so that you see what's my background. So yeah, I started developing professionally, as I said, in Italy. I've been working there in a company that probably I won't mention right now, but in any way, a huge consulting company that was working for one of the banks. So I've worked in the bank industry for 1 year. Then I've switched to another company that is doing innovation. So I'm going to show you a little bit about this as well. Then I became a freelancer a little bit down the road, and it's been amazing. It's a great journey, and being the software developer gives you the possibility to work remotely. So I jumped on that train. I started traveling with my partner, now is my wife. We've been living in the Netherlands for 1 year. After that, we were living in Singapore. We were there again for 1 year. Traveled basically all the Southeast Asian countries, while also being able to work. So that's a great possibility. So I'm not here to tell you should all become software developers, but just to let you know what life could offer, of course. Then I've been, for the last almost year, I was living in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. So I also speak now some Portuguese. So Sao Paulo has been great, but of course you all are aware what the situation is now, so I kind of had to relocate. So I'm back in Europe now. I'm using Python every day for different things, mostly about work, of course. But I also use it for some small side projects that just ease my life. For example, since I told you I'm working as a freelancer. So, oh, by the way, if you have some comments or questions, you can put them in the chat, and I'll try to answer. So, for example, as I told you, I'm working as a freelancer. So I'm managing several different projects. And at certain moment, something might break somewhere. You know, maybe you forgot to pay your domain name or whatever, and a website might turn down. And you don't want this to happen. So, for example, I've written a small Python script that every morning when I open my laptop while the coffee is still going in my coffee machine, it would run through all the websites that I'm managing, and it will send me an email to tell me, yeah, everything is okay with a green check mark, or maybe there is a problem with some website, or maybe some page on some website is not visualizing as it was supposed to be. So just to check all my websites, and if they're online, for example, of course, I could just manually type it in and go through some pages and verify. But having this automated has just made my life so much easier. It's called Optimist Studio. Why? Because it's app, you know, like the web apps, mobile apps, and well, I'm quite optimistic, so I decided to play a little bit with the name of those of these two words. So I'm just gonna show you a little bit how my website looks like as a developer, right? So yeah, I do web and mobile development, and I believe you all see the screen, right? Like on the web page I'm currently showing, I hope. Yeah, okay. So I have, for example, here all the services that I'm doing, some projects I've been working on. I'm gonna go in details about this too. There is a book that I wrote on understanding the causes of software defectiveness. So what this means is basically where the bugs come from. And it's pretty technical, actually. The targeted audience is managers who want to understand why their software, the team that is working within the company is making some bugs, some errors, right, and how to resolve them prior to that. Some articles and so on. So this is basically pretty standard website for a freelance developer. You would see this all over the internet, and the main reason is that there's many of software developer freelancers, and we kind of want to stand out somehow, right? So that's why we make these websites, and that's why we make the portfolio. Oh, by the way, small parenthesis, this website is not done with Python. It's done with WordPress. Why? Because it's just much easier to set up and to run when you just want to have some very static website, of which I'm updating once every few months, right? So I don't really need to develop that much to bring it up. So I just use the ready framework, which is called WordPress. So although I'm mostly software developer on Python, there is no shame in using something else, of course. You should usually aim for using whatever is easiest for you and whatever's gonna get the job done without having problems. So this is what I wanted to show you. That's my portfolio and the projects I've been working on. So innovation. Yeah, I've been working for an innovative company that we've made some smart coffee machines for one of the biggest coffee manufacturers in the world. Their devices are currently in production in Japan, Thailand, Greece, Spain, Mexico, and this was some months ago, actually, maybe even more countries now. So if you've seen around smart coffee machine, maybe I was part of the software team that wrote the software for it. If there is any bug, that was not me for sure. You know? Okay, so also mobile applications, right? So as I said, most of them are confidential. Most of them I cannot really review because my clients want to be quite protective, but some of them I will show you right now. So these were for iOS, for example. For Android, oh, this is interesting. I don't know if the audience has adult age everywhere, but in any way, that's just an app. That's not about promoting alcohol. It's for the Dutch Week beer festival. So we had to create a smart bot, which would be telling you which is the best beer to match with some food that you want. So this is on Google Play right now. But well, the festival is over anyway, so that's not really that interesting. So another interesting project is Keep the Line. So this one is, I don't know if in your countries, guys, you have Spar. That's a chain of supermarkets. So for Spar, Spar have also Spar University, which is kind of a to-go store in the Netherlands, like the smaller ones. So now they have an app which you could just purchase things by scanning a barcode physically in the store, pay through the app, and leave. So you never need to go through the cashier. So something similar to what probably you know from the Amazon just walk out store. I don't remember what the name was, but it's the same concept. You can just like scan the products from your phone, pay from your phone, and just go. Yeah, so this is for the two different sizes of supermarkets that they have. That's how it looks like a little bit as well. Various other mobile apps about food, a museum demo. This was pretty interesting. I'm not gonna go in much details, but we were using Bluetooth beacons and augmented reality to create an indoor navigation system for a museum. Okay, and some e-commerce websites. All of these actually here were done with Python. I wanted to show you particularly this one, Fireworks Tornado. So this is a website. This is a company established in 1995, and that's how the website looks like. So it's a full e-commerce web store. The company is operating currently in Bulgaria and in Russia. And it's a multilingual website. It's what you would really expect from a website. It's done all in Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, basically. So you could browse through items and see what they do, read their articles, you know, and like really what you would really expect from, well, if fireworks are allowed in your country, I don't know, because some countries that's not really a thing, but yeah, so you can buy things, they're gonna ship them, deliver them to you. So all this is done with Python as well. So here's some video about that. So about the question about the portfolio, yeah, so usually I just send this website and on the /portfolio, as you see here, and then people would go there, they can go through these things, they can click on the links, they could see if they're working or not. Like some of these websites are already not online, for example. But yeah, I do have to send portfolios. Here, this is another interesting website, another scratch in the wall. So this is a great startup based in Milan. So I hope when you guys are going to Milan, hopefully soon, to maybe go to Bocconi and visit Professor Massimo Ballerini, you would be able to maybe see this from yourself. This is they make street tours around the city for graffiti, you know, and like street art kind of stuff. I have a customer from Africa who is connecting Europeans with African companies to create business together. Russian website that do balloons. A dentist studio as well. So yeah, I've worked on various projects. Okay. But the one that I really wanted to show you that I've been working on last year is for this fireworks company. So I have to tell you first, the project was not continued. We decided to discontinue it, but it is a way to shoot fireworks remotely. So this is a mobile app. It talks to a web server that works with Python, and the web server then sends message to this device here. So basically the idea is that anybody in a country where these things are allowed would be able to get this device, and from remote he would be able to shoot fireworks. So basically this is fully remote. As you could see, this is just working with external battery. So yeah, you can even explode things with Python. So you have pretty much a lot of power to do different things with this technology, and also with others. So this was a little bit about the projects that I've been doing, and next I wanted to also talk to you a little bit about how do you interact with software developers when you actually have a project and you let's say you have an idea and you don't have the technical knowledge how to make it. This is a very kind of small project that I've worked on, and that's just a very simple way to do it. Right? You can see that's 2018. That's a very simple way to be precise when you talk about software. I'm using a website service which is called Smartsheet, but you can totally do this in Google Sheets. Why am I using Smartsheet is that I could have different smart sheets, which is like a different Google Docs in the way that they would be easily integratable within each other. Google Sheets don't support this really. And plus I have it on the cloud so that if something happens with my machine, I can just like continue working in the afternoon on another computer, and I wouldn't lose my files. So in general, I'm trying really to keep everything on the cloud. And the cloud means, yeah, that's somebody else's machine, but if things are properly secured, there is no problem in that. So I'm using Smartsheet. You could use Google Sheet, you could use Excel. You can also just use WordPad, and just write it in text. But this is how, for example, I would, me as a software developer, when I am approached from a person who wants a website, how I would specify their requirements. So there is this person, you can see it's Doreen. 2 years ago, we were talking about making a website. So she said, I need this website, I want to display these and these things inside. It should not be very heavy application. It's kind of like a portfolio for her as well. A little bit of a blog maybe, so nothing too fancy. For her it was more important to be set up and start fast rather than spend too much time on development heavy functionalities which she wouldn't need, right? So we sit down for a coffee twice actually for an hour, and I've been taking notes. After I took all my notes, I created this document and I shared it with her, and I asked her, Doreen, is this everything that we talked about? Is everything that you dream about your website here in this list? And the reason for this is that we would know that we're on the same page. Right? Like when somebody sends you a message on WhatsApp, like, well, you can even delete the message on WhatsApp. Like that's just, they're tools for communication and tools for business communication. And they're tools for working with software, and then just tools for chatting with friends, right? So when you receive as a software developer, I have to say, when you receive a request from somebody about a feature, you want it to be, well, not documented in a professional document necessarily, but at least have it somehow visualized, have a list of them. Be sure that we talked about that, and yeah, then we put it down black and white, and what's most important, after that, we would be able to go and just like click a green checkbox on each of these things if they have been delivered. So I'm going to walk you a little bit through this list. For example, in the beginning, that's the planning. So we were discussing how the project is going to start. This is my estimation on which days and how long these things are going to take. So the duration is, for example, to start the project or to define requirements with her, to prepare the contract, choose some visual design for this from already prepared templates. We didn't want anything like too custom or too fancy, and then to give her some time to approve it. Then there will be the development in the project line, so purchasing the domain and setting up a server. So maybe if you don't know what a domain is, that's like that's this part, smartsheet.com, right? Like, so you can go to websites and you can purchase your own domain, like mine is Optimist Studio, or like Google is google.com. So you can also do your first name, surname.com, for example. So setting up a server where we would be running her project. To install the framework and some core functionalities, I estimated this would take around half a day. Development of the server setup, and then final site launch and polishing. So this is the timeline, right? So first I said, okay, this is how I envision it. I sent this document to her. I said, is this okay for you? Is this what you expect? And it should take around 5 days to create. It's a rather simple website. It's just a basic portfolio and blog. And below there, I've written the requirements that were needed for this website. This is just what I've taken out from our discussion over a coffee, right? So I don't want to get too technical, but basically there are two type of requirements: the functional requirements and the non-functional requirements. So as I said, don't want to be too technical, but basically what functional requirements are, well, what you expect as functionality out of a system, right? So this is a client can browse the website without a registration because, for example, you have facebook.com, right? You have to register there to see most of the stuff. Otherwise, like, it wouldn't visualize many of the things for you. So in her case, we want it to be a website where people could just browse everything on the website without any registration. There would be an administrator that would be able to log in, would be able to add descriptions for some services and info on the contact page, for example. You can upload photos to the gallery and add, delete blog articles, something like this. So I've added also a code here, right? So this is for future reference. Let's say she's testing out her brand's delivered application, and then she says, oh, by the way, there is some problem here. So she can say, like, I cannot upload a photo, you know, so you can say, like, can you look at functional requirement 5, for example. So for example, that the system should be doing whatever it should be doing, you know, forward emails to her account, and to be connected with Google Analytics, to be secure. So security is a very, very essential thing, and I personally take it very seriously. Since 1 year I've been working in a security company in Singapore. We were delivering smart Internet of Things, so IoT objects, to the Singaporean government. So things had to be really, really secure. So HTTPS. So what, I don't want to get very technical again, but you know the difference. There is a difference between HTTP or HTTPS. So S stands for secure. This is the way it's a communication protocol that would be securing the connection between you and the website that you're accessing. And then what are the non-functional requirements? So these are things that you kind of want to have, but these are not necessarily functionalities, right? Like, you want to have a page which is like a home page. You want to have contacts, for example, because people should be able to contact you at the bottom. So this is rather a field that you want to allow people to fill in their contact in, but it's not necessarily something significantly functional for the system, right? It's just a field out there to be filled in by her after. The website to be mobile responsive, right? Like, that's what you expect nowadays. More than 50% of traffic nowadays is mobile. So with more of the traffic, it means is mobile, right? So we want to be sure that things would be mobile responsive and mobile friendly. Some things here, some links about the design, some questions on how to put some JavaScript things at the bottom. This is, for example, the payments that we've arranged, like some payments for hosting a server. So yeah, for example, as I was telling you, for a simple project, even like, as you saw, this is a 5-day project. It shouldn't take too long. It's a rather simple website compared to other things. And yeah, I would prefer to have everything named properly, coded properly, specify even the simple things which you might think is kind of a common sense, right? Like that you have administrator and non-registered clients on the website. But when you specify it, that's when it becomes defined, right? Before that, it's like a speculation. My client might be saying, oh, I expected also that the users would be able to register on the website. And then I would say, yeah, but I'm sorry, you know, like, I presented you this document. You saw that clients should be able to browse without registration, right? So any ambiguity to be cleared out. So yeah, we developers prefer to talk like that. Prefer to be more specific usually. Can I stop sharing? Yeah, okay. So we okay, share camera. So we prefer to be more specific. We prefer to be more detailed when we talk, so that there is no ambiguity. Right? As I told you, you don't want, when somebody says this is big or this is small. Well, it has to be relative to something, right? Like, it has to be comparable to something. Otherwise, I might consider a fly very big, and you might consider an elephant very small for an elephant. But if I tell you big fly and you tell me small elephant, does it mean that the fly is bigger than the elephant? So everything should be comparable. So everything should be well defined, should be non-ambiguous. So in case you're working on some project, and for example, right now you're assigned a project to work on, and you have some difficulties to formulate it in your mind, maybe how you want things to be happening, well, just ask a question. Like asking never hurts. It could solve the thing for you. It might be helpful for other people that maybe were thinking the same thing and they never realized that the solution is pretty simple when you receive the answer and it's visible for everyone. This is pretty much from me. In case you have some questions, feel free to drop a comment now. I hope you guys liked it.
I personally, sorry Martin, I'm coming in the conversation.
Yeah.
I personally have found it very interesting for myself, so thank you, Stas. I think that our friends are quite shy today, because they are usually very active and interactive, but it seems that they are probably still taking note of what you have said. I don't know. But of course, I would also love to hear something from our friends, because how many of you have okay, no, let's say I'll let you answer to Anna.
Oh. Okay, thanks for the question, Anna. Anna asked that she's asking about what were the first projects I worked on. So I remember, I think besides in high school, you were learning, probably I was learning most of the things that you're learning now, like how to create a class and an instance and what is the if statement and what is a for loop and things like that. But I think maybe one of the more interesting initial projects that were assigned by the teacher was a game. So it was not something too heavy. It was not even graphical. It was just pure text game in which you choose your monster, and then you choose. So you have 10 points to assign to its properties. So its attack, its defense, speed, and I don't know, whatever. And then you assign 6 points to attack and 2 points to defense and something to speed and something to agility, or I don't know. And then player 2 can assign his or hers 10 points to that and to their monster. And then there is a very simple algorithm for fighting. So then it's just on the screen, you see digits flowing up, okay, your life is 10, your life is 8, your life is 7, and okay, monster 1 wins, for example. So it was super simple as a complexity, of course. As working on it back then, it seemed pretty tough thing. I think we were doing it for 2-3 weeks or something like that. And it was actually quite enjoyable, because in the end we were just sitting there, assigning points differently and on random, more or less random, one monster would win and we would feel happy that our monster won, for example. So being able to create something that small and kind of fun was great, and it brings the spark in you, and you want to look up something new. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. Maybe you are a programmer, maybe you're thinking how to become better, maybe you're thinking to become a freelancer and this was helpful for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. You can find me on Instagram on the link below, so you can drop me an email also in the description below. Leave a comment under the video if you liked it, if you didn't like it, even if you disagree with me on something, that's okay. Alright, well, thanks everyone, and I'll catch you soon with you again. Bye bye.